What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Fit Society Better Together podcast. My name is Corey. I will be your host, tour guide, whatever you would like to call me. The velvety whiskey voice on the other end of the device that you're listening to.
Ooh.
I'm just kidding. I kind of sound like a
Wow.
frog that hasn't hit puberty yet, but that's neither
the
here
same
nor
thing.
there. I'm here with Cassidy and MJ. Gentlemen, how are we?
What up, kids?
Hello, studs. Good to see your faces.
Agreed. Our topic today, boys, for episode number 13 is going to be fueling our body for performance. So we'll get into some generals and some more specifics, but essentially we're talking about what we should be doing, what we should be putting into our body, what doesn't matter that we're putting into our body, centered around with the major focus being a workout or some performance event, whatever that may be. As always, we'll go through a 3-2-1 format, 3 thoughts, 2 myths, 1 question, and then a go or an action to take home so you as the listener can improve your quality of life somehow, some way. So I'll just go ahead and kick it off.
Oh, take it away, sir. Take it away.
I'm already talking.
Feel it. Hey, you're already hot. Keep it
You
going.
do you, boo.
Yep.
You do you,
Yep,
boo.
yep. Running the mic. All right, here we go. So my main thought here on fuel for performance or for a workout of some sort kind of is a funnel, starting wide, getting narrower. And I would say for general health, so long as we're hitting our total caloric intake, prioritizing protein first, carbs and fats second, and we're not doing anything too crazy, probably doesn't matter as much as people think. I will say my caveats to this, or like my rule around this, would be if you're working out past 1 p.m., probably like the 1 p.m. class and on, you need to be thinking about what you're going to be eating earlier in that day to work out. But if you're one of the morning classes from 5 a.m. to 9 a.m., I would say it probably doesn't matter a ton what you eat before you go work out. Now, I want to go slam 30 pieces of a red chili burrito or something like that. You probably throw that up. But if you're not going to eat, you'll probably be fine from the calories that you ate the night before. Now, as general health switches to performance-based, or even if it's not performance-based, the more in tune you are, the more you want to put a focus on you increasing your performance in the gym. Now we got to start talking about timing and macronutrients prior to working out. And I will let you guys hit your thoughts here, but I would say loosely, guidelines, you want to be heavier on the protein and carb side pre-workout than you would on the fat side. So for your macronutrients, protein and carb heavy, the more intense and longer your workouts are, probably the more carbs you're going to want to fuel those workouts.
Yeah.
That's about all I got. So I know it was like 12 minutes. Yeah, it was a lot.
All right. I'll take a stab at it, I suppose.
Nail it.
So I think on this topic and conversation, context matters. And like you said, we're kind of focusing down one lane. Although nutrition matters with respect to performance, I think a lot of times people tend to major in the minors or look for things of items of that would be more low priority as a supplement to doing what they should be doing in that lane first. So the first point I want to make, Corey, it lives in the same world as your takeaway, which is, you know, the most important thing in this topic of nutrition, period, is 2 things. What are your total calorie numbers, and what's your total number of calories, and number 2, what are those macronutrient percentages, right? That's the most important thing when it comes to 9.9 out of 10 people on this call that you should be focused on. Okay, period.
What is 9.9 out of 3 people?
9.9 out of 10. Did I say 3?
No, you said to the people on this call. So us 3 plus our listeners, we only have 3 listeners.
Oh, God. I'm like yeah,
2.8 people.
Listen, we had Rachel on 2 weeks ago, so I think we got like 4 more. We got her mom and her dad. So,
okay, perfect. Cool.
Yeah,
Sorry to ruin your thought there.
No, it's good. So going back to performance itself, or performance nutrition itself, it does matter, especially if you're looking to perform, right? And there are a couple takeaways or general rules of thumb when it comes to pre, during, and post-workout nutrition. Those are kind of the three areas I look at. And one of the I guess authority figures that I look up to in this space is a gentleman by the name of John Ivey. He wrote a book called Nutrient Timing, and did a whole bunch of research on exactly what we're talking about. Like, does the putting the different macros at different times, pre, during, and post, doesn't matter, and if so, how much, right? And to shake out that whole book and to make something really applicable for everybody listening here, if you want to focus on performance nutrition, is about 2 hours before a workout, you got to eat something, right? And that something should be anywhere from like 150 to 200 grams of carbs, because carbohydrates are your preferred energy source. Like, you need them. It increases your muscle glycogen. It allows you to go perform in the bout of exercise that you're about to do, right?
Right.
And then his really cool research, and man, anybody I've talked to that wants to put on size, like lean mass quickly, that does what I'm about to say, it really does affect the performance and the results. Of course, it lives under the umbrella of their quantity and quality with respect to calories and macros, but a general rule of thumb is during and immediately post workout, when you're in that anabolic window, is to have about a 2-to-1 carb to protein ratio in liquid form. If you do that, what happens is you take advantage of the insulin spike, you increase MPS, which is muscle protein synthesis, all the things when your body's in that anabolic state, it's getting the fuel and it's getting it there readily available. Just by doing that one thing, you can increase a tremendous amount of results with respect to what I just said, right? So again, is it the most important thing? No. But if you could follow that general rule of thumb, whether you work out at 9 a.m. or 1 p.m., right, or you're into the 5 p.m., you got to eat something prior to. And then afterwards, 2-to-1. And that's what the resistance training stuff. If you're doing like an endurance 1 hour run, that can go up to
That's a different ball game.
It can go 3-to-1 or 4-to-1 carbohydrate to protein, right? And again, the reason why we're saying carbohydrates is because that's your preferred energy source. That's what we use, glycogen down into glucose through ATP, and that's what we run on. That's our fuel source. So I guess my point is context matters here, but the most important thing are those first two, and then this is just like the accelerator on top of it. But don't mistake the accelerator for the solution to your problem, if that makes sense.
Yeah, totally does. Totally does. Well, I'll take a step at my idea, my thought right now. It's I kind of equate it to like a motorcycle. If I was going to go out and ride my motorcycle and go on a long trip, or maybe if I'm out on a dirt bike and I wanted to really hit it hard, and I have no gas, I'm not going anywhere. You know, it's not going to be a fun ride. So, you know, very much like both of you said, we've all had workouts where you get there and you're like, gosh, I didn't eat much, you know, and you come in a little bit deficient, and you get through, maybe it's like squats, and then after that, we're going to do box jumps and or wall balls. You get through those squats and you feel okay, but then you get over and you start huffing and puffing, your heart rate starts to rise, and you just don't have the energy anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And you hit this weird wall, and it's like almost a hypoglycemic feeling to where you just don't have it in you anymore. And that is purely from nutrition. You know, that's from not having enough calories in your tank or enough gas in your tank to keep you going through that workout. So obviously your performance is going to dip. You know, you're not really taking care of your body as well as you should be during those really high energy and you know, workouts that are busting down your body. So you know, that's kind of what I look at it as, is that, man, if I really want to enjoy this workout and I want to get through it and get it to where I'm not worrying about feeling shaky because I don't have energy, I just want to get through it because it's a hard workout and I want to be really good at it, then take care of the stuff prior, you know, and make sure that you're fueling your body the way it should so you can perform at that level. And it helps also with, you know, I know at times when, you know, we've done like BTCs, or even when I was doing the 75 hard at times, you know, there'd be times when I didn't hit enough calories prior to a workout and I'd finish a workout and I just have a raging headache. And you know, you just be like, golly, why do I have that? And then I look back on what I ate that day and I'm like, well, that's why, because I had
Yeah.
nothing in my body. You know, I was running on fumes. And so, you know, if you feel those feelings during workouts or post workout, that's probably a lot of the reasons why is that, you know. So again, as you guys mentioned, it's not this macro huge thing that should be freaked out about and plan consistently all the time and you know, you go nuts on it, but it should be something you should take a look at and, you know, kind of plan your day out. And once you get in the hang of it and you get used to it, it's simple. You know, you can do stuff that's so easy to just be prepared for those workouts that you're going to get going.
For sure. Yeah. Usually when I finish a workout and I have a huge headache, it's because I drank like a 12-pack the night before. But
IPAs. That's
yeah,
IPAs.
that'll
You know, it's
really
funny.
mess me up.
I don't feel that. It's odd.
Okay, good. No, those are all good thoughts. I think people can take home some notes there on what they need to do strategy wise to create the best environment for themselves to get the best results for their goals. We'll move into myths. You guys are good with that?
Do it.
All right. Myth number one, carbs are bad for me. So I mean, we go through this flip every probably decade in the nutrition world, from fats are the worst thing in the world to carbs are the worst things in the world to don't eat eggs, they're going to kill you, to eggs are the best thing on the planet, you should eat a dozen of them a day. And I think modern studies, modern science shows what we all have kind of realized the whole time anyways. Fats and carbs are both good for you. It's just how you use them. Specifically pertaining to carbs, like you said, MJ, it's an excellent source for what we use for fuel for our workouts. You by no means should be scared of them. And they, like I said earlier in my first statement, the longer and more intense your workouts are, the more carbs you're going to want.
Yeah.
Unless you're running a very strict ketogenic diet, which people mess up all the time. Just because you say you're keto doesn't mean you're keto, because you eat 8 pieces of bacon in the morning. You need to be like in ketosis and using fat as a primary fuel source, which most people are not. Then you're going to be looking at using carbs to fuel your workout. And they're extremely important. They can help you go a lot longer and sustain a lot more intensity than if you do not have them.
And that's, you know, I mean, I guess a general rule of thumb is that if you're going to work out 45 minutes to an hour, you probably don't need to go get carbs during your workout. But then post, you know, 60 minutes and more is when you probably need to, you know, fuel up on 50 to 150 grams of carbs, you know, to continue to be able to work at it at a level that you should be able to work at.
I think on the topic of carbohydrates, just like you said, it's been bastardized, but the proof's in the pudding, like what I just outlined from like John Ivy's nutrient timing and things like this, that if you understand how the body works, right? Like you understand that carbohydrates are your body's preferred energy source. And if you don't take the carbs in anyways, your body goes through a process called gluconeogenesis where it produces carbohydrates from proteins anyways by cleaving a nitrogen, right? That's just what happens. So without going into that stuff, like you're going to make the carbs anyways, you're going to produce the fuel anyways. So I think here's the thing. Anything in moderation and responsibly within budgets is good. Anything over is bad. And the reality is society bastardizes, or not bastardizes, excuse me, over consumes everything. And carbohydrates are one of those things, right? So to be clear, if you over consume anything, carbohydrates, proteins, or fats, that's stored as potential energy, which is body fat, right? So that matters contextually as well. Yeah, as long as you're in your budgets, carbs are great. If you go over budget in carbs, it's bad.
Yep.
That's it.
Yeah.
Like end of story. Boring, right? It's like so boring.
Yeah.
And I feel bad. I feel so bad because going back to like my opener, like context matters and everybody's looking for the thing, right? And there's just so much misinformation out there and just so much everything that it gets confusing and people get lost in what's what. But nutrition's really boring and basic. It just is. Like the principles of nutrition there's two of them. the methodology, there's thousands, but like, you want to be a smaller human being, be in a deficit. You want to be a bigger human being, be in a surplus. Like, that's just it. It's a law, you know?
Yep.
So anyways,
Yep.
carbs aren't
Cool.
terrible unless you're over consuming.
Correct. Myth number 2, which actually leads in great to all the hoopla around nutrition and how everybody looking for the magic pill or the quick button,
Yeah.
quick fix. Myth number 2 would be most supplements are worth their bang for their buck, is what we'll call myth number 2, meaning that most of the supplements you are buying and taking are totally worth the money and will help you. And I will let somebody else kick it off first because I've gone first twice.
Cass, you want to shoot on the subs?
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's there's a ton of different things that are out there. Obviously, you've got all the stuff that we see from Frank Thomas selling Nutrigenics or whatever it's called to and he looks bigger than he ever has in any baseball game that he ever played as a
Neither here
professional
nor there.
athlete.
Neither here nor there.
Yeah, it's like, okay, you're really not doing anything. So I don't know why they have him as their spokesman. Sorry, Frank Thomas, you're a great baseball player, but
Yeah.
you're probably not the greatest spokesman for it. So you can get sold down the river for snake oil, for so many different things. And really, and MJ, I'll let you hit on the keys that you have always preached to me about what are essentials that you should have for supplements. But I think along the line of the overconsumption, it's the same thing. If you're consuming, just oodles of, I don't know, any type of vitamin, your body can only intake a certain amount.
Yeah.
And after that, it basically your body just takes it out. It disposes of it, and you might have multicolored urine. So, but that is that's a case of it. But, having clean, really clean supplements to not only help you with your performance, but also to help you with the things that you're not getting in your natural diet. That's something that you need to take a look at. And that's for another topic that we'll go into maybe in another podcast. But so you just got to take a look at what you're doing, how long and what you're doing before you just dive in and buy everything that GNC or Frank Thomas tells you to buy.
Yeah. I can wrap this up in 60 seconds or less with the topic we could have an hour to 2 hour long conversation with, which is supplements. But again, I think everybody on this call, if they were to be honest, would agree that the best case scenario to consume our nutrition, whether it's performance nutrition or lifestyle nutrition, is from Whole Foods, right? The challenge is lifestyle challenges, right? There's other things outside in our day-to-day lives that make it hard to do that. So supplements should be used exactly for what the namesake of it is, to supplement, right? And I think where people go is, again, they go looking to major in the minors. They go looking for that thing. They go looking for that edge. If you go to Sprouts, like I shop at Sprouts, and they have 6 aisles of supplements. They probably have 5,000 thousands of just supplements, right? And I'm not going to sit here and make a statement, or I don't think it's fair to say like none of them work, right, or serve a purpose. But I think for the intention of why our user, the member of our gym, or somebody at home just trying to be healthy and live their holistic life, I think they go down the wrong trail with that. If I were to put my supplements in order, it would be 1, 2, 3. It would be multivitamin. Everybody can benefit from it. It's just insurance, like it's just insurance at a minimum. At a maximum, it helps you with your nutritional insufficiencies. Number 2 would be protein. And it's the number 1 most researched macronutrient on planet Earth. It works. And if you have a lifestyle that you're busy and you're on the go and you need controlled calories and you got to hit numbers, why not take a protein bar or a protein shake if it's convenient and helps you progress towards your goal? Because that's the number 1 macronutrient you got to hit, hands down. It's the number 1. And then tertiary to that, I think creatine's on the list. Is it mandatory? No. Can it help accelerate your results and your strength gains and your MPS and all that? Absolutely. Can men and women both take it? Absolutely. But going back to the words you used, Cassidy, like essentials, multivitamin and protein, you know, anything above and beyond that is a supplement that's more than likely designed to accelerate your results or maximize results. But again, most people are just fishing in the wrong pond, trying to find a magical pill to the two boring ass principles of nutrition, which is calorie restriction and macronutrient percentages.
Yeah. Yep. Nope. I agree with everything you guys said. I mean, I would say even in the case of protein, if you can get it from Whole Foods, like we were talking about, do that first.
Yep,
If it's
absolutely.
convenient for you or it makes sense for you to have a protein shake because of your lifestyle, throw it on there. Creatine, I'll throw in a little caveat for people. Old school studies said that usually you'd have to do big loading doses of creatine, which is like 20, 25 grams for the first 7 days that you can drop off. A lot of studies now show that you just need anywhere from 3 to 5 grams a day, every day. You can stop taking it. You can start taking it, whatever the case may be. Get into your little rhythm there. You don't need to cycle it or anything like that. You just take 5 grams a day every day for the rest of your life. It's going to, like you said, MJ, build your muscle better, increase your top end performance there, and it actually shows some cognitive performance as well. And the only other supplement that I would throw on that list that most people consume anyways would be caffeine. It's good cognitive improvement. It's a stimulant, can help you in your workouts. Don't abuse it like anything else. But yeah, that's it. I would agree with everything there for supplements.
Yeah, one thing I wanted to, sorry, Corey, to cut you off there.
Oh, you're good.
One thing, I know I'm such a jerk. The one thing I wanted to ask, and I remember, MJ, you mentioned this years ago when I first started at Studio Fit, is I was all excited to, get into supplements and get the right stuff. And I went out and bought a multivitamin, and you're like, no, you got the wrong one, man. That thing is going to go through your body and not metabolize, and you're not going to get the effect that it's designed for.
Mm-hmm.
And it was because of a certain brand that just was not clinically proven to be a quality supplement. So real quick, and I know you can go on hours on this, but what do you look for when you go look for just a simple multivitamin and a simple brand of protein?
Yeah, so the whole thing is, you're right, all supplements aren't created equal. There's a lot of good ones, there's a lot of bad ones. But typically you can look for the stamps, like the NSF stamps on them, right? If they're manufactured in an FDA registered facility, you look at that, that ensures, and there's really 3 things with supplements: purity, potency, and delivery. Purity meaning what it says what it is, potency meaning there's that much of it, right? If it says it has 50 mgs of caffeine, it has 50 mgs of caffeine. And then delivery, meaning that it's going to be used and utilized properly, right? So the good news is, and I'm not going to push a particular product or what, anything like that, but the good news is, with a little bit of personal responsibility and research, you can sniff very quickly the pros from the Joes, right? And so look for stamps, look for the stamps on the bottles that certify it, that it's good quality, purity, potency, and delivery.
Yeah, for protein powders, typically, from what I found just in my own market research, is you're best off sticking with something simple like vanilla or chocolate. As soon as you get into a lot of the cookies and creams and all those other flavors, you just have a lot of more added ingredients and flavors, sugars and fats in there that you don't necessarily need. So typically stick with a chocolate or a vanilla, and then it shouldn't have much else outside of the macronutrient of protein.
Mm-hmm. And then the difference between casein and whey, and tell me if I'm wrong, but whey burns quicker than casein. And generally, if you're going to have a night protein shake, you want the protein to metabolize slower during the night, then you would use casein protein. Right. Is that correct?
So
that's correct.
Not only would I say it's correct, I'd say it's really unimportant.
Okay. Yeah.
No. And that was like a joke, but serious, right? Like,
Yeah.
Again, ask yourself this, is the determining factor in me accomplishing what I want to accomplish with respect to either my body composition or performance going to be the difference of whether I take a whey protein isolate or a casein protein, right?
Yeah.
So you're absolutely right.
It's just major
By
into
the-
the minus.
By the letter of the law, but that would be, in my professional opinion, Cassidy, not that you're wrong, you're absolutely right. That would be an extreme example of majoring in the minors. And I'm sitting there just looking at people going, could you get about 1 gram per pound body weight of protein, please? Can we start there? And I don't care if it's whey or casein or whatever, a mix, a blend. Some of them have 4-way blends of proteins. It's like, just get that in and make sure it's a good quality product. If you're a bodybuilder and you're cutting for a show and you're at that level of going from fit to fitter to the fittest, and that's how it works. Like when you go from fitter to fittest, those percentages, those things matter. But in an overall goal of even a regular performance athlete, like I'm talking a real performance athlete, it's not going to be a deal breaker either way. The weighted percentage of that value is so insignificant.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, for sure.
Question, Corey, question to ask ourselves.
Do you have a plan for
Right.
how you're going to fuel your workout, which seems to be a common theme in most of our episodes, but it's just a very simple way for us to bring up the point of like,
Yeah.
are you thinking about this, or is this something you're even considering, or are you just kind of going through life and not paying attention to it, which for some people is going to be fine, but it definitely can make an impact if you do it correctly and at least put some mindfulness behind it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. If you're doing the work, why not put in this work? This is the easy stuff. Once you get a program going, and you get a routine going, it's almost mindless. I mean, you literally just create it, you put it together, and you're on your way. But it takes a little bit of upfront work to have a great result at the end without really much effort.
Yeah, we're talking about something as simple as like buying a Costco size thing of applesauce, the little packets, and putting 2 of them in your gym bag. And just before 30 minutes before you go work out, you just eat 2 of those. Like we're talking about something as simple as that, right? So I think that's why we bring it up. We're not saying that that's going to change everything in your life and is going to be the difference in you getting to 7% body fat or you being at 35% body fat and overweight. We're just saying that it's something so simple as that. Just take the 20 minutes, figure it out for yourself, and then implement it.
Yeah.
And really what that's doing is that's just getting you better at creating habits. And that's just going to trickle over into other things in your life where you go, okay, now I prioritize my pre-workout or my post-workout meals and I have a routine for that. Well, I probably should prioritize my protein intake for the day, which comes first if I'm going to prioritize this. And then you're going to start having plans for those things. And all these little habits that we talk about over the course of this podcast is what then makes up a good, healthy lifestyle for you where it's easy for you to attain your goals.
Mm-hmm. The one thing I think I'll just wrap it up with this, Corey, is, man, if there's one thing I wish that people not only understood better, but appreciated more, meaning they would actually live it out, is how impactful and significant nutrition is to any and every goal you have in your life with respect to health, fitness, wellness. Like, I'll tell you, man, it's frustrating seeing some of these people that come into our gym and day in, day out, some of them doing 2-a-days, and they look the same 3 months ago, 6 months ago, a year ago. It's not even their fault. Inside our 4 walls, I'll raise my hand and say that's our fault for not being able to find the way to prioritize and execute nutrition for that human being. So although, Corey, the nutrient timing might not be the difference of 7% body fat or 30% body fat, nutrition certainly is. And anytime you're working on the things that you're talking about, 2 applesauces here, or hey, I'm working on at 5, so I should eat at 3 or whatever else, like I would just leave everybody with this. The more conversations you could have with yourself and others about that, will serve you 10x what any workout inside or outside the gym will ever do for you. That's just one thing I just wish I could be like, poof, like everybody just chew on that, no pun intended, you know? And so to your point, do you have a nutrition plan? And then we just narrowed it down to around performance around the workout, but so important.
Agree.
That's it.
That's it.
Performance
it.
nutrition, baby.
Yep.
Fuel.
Love it. Well, thanks, gentlemen. Appreciate it. It was a good one. Your guys' action step for the day is to go figure that out.
And if you don't know how to figure it out, ask somebody.
Yeah.
Yep.
For sure.
Don't let it confuse you. It's easier than you think.
We will sit down. And hey, by the way, another free resource for everybody here. Go to fitsocietyaz.com. Go to our program. Click on the first component, fitness, which is nutrition. And we're linked up with Precision Nutrition. We'll get you your calories, your macronutrient percentages. We'll get you performance nutrition in there. Like, it's all there. But like anything, the genius isn't in the idea of it. It's the execution of doing it. So you got to find out what's going to make you do it and want to do it. But you'd be very well served to do that.
Cool.
All right, kids. Love you long time. Until next week.
See you.